Well, guys, guess what? You are so lucky today. I mean, the freezer in the church went on the fritz. That's not very good. But the good news is that there just happened to be some bread dough in there, and it all thawed out, and we had to cook it. So guess who gets the privilege of eating the rolls? You guys do. Isn't that great? That's fantastic. You know, I'm really sorry that the freezer went on the fritz. That was just not good at all, but I sure am going to enjoy these rolls today. You know, I was thinking as I was watching these rolls today, they were rising up, and I thought about how good they were going to taste, and I was thinking that, do you realize these rolls actually began as a problem? The freezer went on the fritz. We had bread dough that had to be used. And so we had to do something with it. We could throw away or we could bake it. So we decided to bake it. And because the freezer went on the fritz and they were all thawed out, we couldn't refreeze it. We had to just go ahead and use it. But you know, when I take those little rolls and I put them on the pan and I was going to bake them, they were just tiny little things and they were no way ready to be baked. So I needed to let them set out and get warm so that they would rise up so that we could bake them and eat them. And even after they were big enough, they still weren't ready to eat. I had to put them in the oven, and I actually had to cook them for a while so that they could be good for us to eat. And you know what? I discovered that life is kind of like that. Everything goes along really smooth for a while, and then all of a sudden, wham, the problem hits you, and it comes at you. And have you ever noticed that when things go wrong, it kind of feels like somebody's turning up the heat? And the worse the problem gets, the hotter it feels. Well, you know what? I discovered there's a great verse in the Bible that will help us to put our problems in the right perspective. James 1:2-4 says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow, so let it grow. But when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing." You know, God uses the problems in our lives to help us grow, just like I used heat to make these rolls rise up. In fact, God sometimes even lets those problems increase and turns the heat up a little bit, just like I turned the heat up and I put them in the oven and I baked them. God uses tough times in life to help us grow and to make us into beautiful vessels that he can use for his glory. These rolls came out of the oven looking good, smelling good, and tasting good. And when we come out of God's oven, we will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Isn't that great? You know what's even greater? It's time to eat the rolls!